stay gone away. When you're not around, I feel amazed.
Michael Brown, that was an Akata. His daddy is an Akata. And it's a shame, because his dad, so he was just like destined. I always said any celebratory Come Guzzler Harris by these mammies is all fake and phony. Because if any of these mammies supported that whore.
Nation, one nation, but joy cometh in the
morning. Come on, Joe!
We will get through this.
We gonna get through this together, y'all.
Together.
Ooh, Joe, we gonna get through this together. Oh yeah. No, y'all ain't even considered. Y'all ain't even in the boat.
The nigger thing.
Yeah. Saying the word nigger.
You've already said nigger.
D is just like nigger. Saying nigger. She's calling you a nigger. It's like this boy that he's a nigger and starts calling them niggers. Word nigger. There should be a word like nigger, especially like the word nigger. That's our nigger. About niggers. He says nigger. Guy, a nigger. And there are niggers. Start saying nigger. Allowed to use the word nigger. Out the word nigger. See nigger. Word nigger. Say nigger and he couldn't say nigger. And most nigger. Nigger.
You know, the nigger thing.
What's up, Patriots? It's time to cut through the, well, you know.
What's up, everyone? Axel here of Axetruth.com, and this is the Axetruth channel. I covered this on my Monday show in the Joe Rogan experience, the Joe Rogan Spotify experience. I'm Axel of Axetruth.com. All video, sound, and music used during this broadcast falls under fair use. Fair use is allowed for the purpose of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe on copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Yes, I covered this on Monday in the Joe Rogan Spotify experience live stream. I will be replaying tonight. And I got into this whole thing. I said, because fuck all them artists getting off talking about they're taking this stuff off Spotify. What could get a corporation to act immediately on someone as if you're considered racist? So here we go. You know, Joe Rogan they have compiled his use of the N-word, and you know, which he's used it. It's obvious the way they're in that compilation that you saw that it was just him using. He was saying the word in explaining an incident. But this is a teachable moment for all you crackers. See, here we go again. See, this is an attack on free speech. This is all they're trying to get it all in one swoop. They want to censor him because of the COVID shit, because if he was pro-COVID and pro-vaccine and pro all that other bullshit, you know, which he basically is. But I mean, I want you to watch how Joe Rogan, you know, how this, you know, we all say, a lot of us know Joe Rogan is a shill. I don't care what you say, you know, he's a shill. He works for the establishment. He's not a truth teller. I mean, it is what it is. But, you know, he's used to put out a little bit of truth, and then they use him for something else. And now they're using this whole situation as a teachable moment to you crackers, and that you can't even say the N-word. You have to say N-word. You can't even say it. Because if you say it, it's like all hell breaks loose. I really don't understand what that's, you know, what this means, you know. I can't say that. I can't say that. If I was a white person, I'd say nigga anytime I feel like saying nigga. It's a word. Niggas say it every day. It's in the rap music. It's everywhere. You know, fuck all this. It's an attack on speech, you know. And I don't care what context Joe Rogan was using it in. He was talking on his podcast and he said the word, so what? Who cares? But of course, the offended shines and occultists and mammies, oh, I'm so offended. He would say something like this. Oh, I'm so upset that he's on Spotify getting paid, NDRE. Because he says the N-word. He's white. You know, he didn't say it using it, calling black people niggas. But he has said other things that you can look at. But so what? Black people say things about white people. It's like, but this is a control thing. This is about speech. This is a way to kind of nip away at our free speech here, saying what someone can say and what they can't say. But let's walk down memory lane here. This is where he talked about Planet of the Apes. Compared going into a black neighborhood is like walking into the Planet of the Apes.
App. And it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out, and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white people. App. And it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there.
The guy can barely speak English. That's a problem. See, what he says a lot of things. That's just who he is. That's how he thinks. Who cares? But yet they gotta find something on him because they want to get him off Spotify, and this may be it. The race card. The wasteism. But Joe Rogan has come out and did a cuck apology for it. But I will show you a little bit more because, everybody's all in on it. The white liberals are all on it. And then they're chastising other celebrities if you're black and you support Joe Rogan. I'm going to show you that. The white liberal bagel. All right. So, but he also talks about being biracial here. If you're biracial, you have the best of both worlds. You get the brains of a white man and the body of a black man.
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of the black man and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't get me.
Oh, that doesn't mean black people don't have brains. It's just it's a different brain. It's a different brain. It's not saying that you don't have brains. Well, now he comes out and gives an apology. But before we go into the apology, let's just talk about The Rock. The Rock has come out and basically he has at first I guess he came out he was in defense of Joe Rogan or whatever, and Don Winslow, which looks like a bagel to me. This guy right here he is. Here is the white liberal checking another blue check mark black liberal, letting him know his place. You're a hero to many people, dear The Rock. You're a hero to many people, and using your platform to defend Joe Rogan, a guy that used and laughed about using the N-word dozens of times, is a terrible use of your power. Have you actually listened to this man's racist statements about black people? Oh, you see how it's funny how these white liberals they think they can come tell somebody black or anyone person of color how they should think and how they should view things. I mean, I have a white liberal in my family. She thought she could tell me how to think, who to vote for, what to say. That's just how they are. They think they can tell you what to say. It's mighty white of them. But here's Dwayne. He quickly cowed and cucked out and says, "Dear Don Winslow, thank you so much for this. I hear you as well as everyone here 100%. I was not aware of his N-word use prior to my comments. But now I've become educated to his complete narrative. Learning moment for me. Mahalo, brother, and have a great and productive weekend. DJ, can I get on my knees and give you a blowjob next?" Good gracious. Oh my God. Wow. Oh, Don. You brought this to I'm educated now. Thanks for educating me. I said, these pussy ass men. I would have said, I'm defending him because I wasn't offended by it. He was not using it in a derogatory context, saying it to black people when he said he was talking about different scenarios. Okay, but when he said this thing about the walking into the black neighborhood, it looked like the Planet of the Apes. You can take it for what you want. And then when he said, well, if you got the body of the brains of a white man, the body of a black man, take him for what you want. But guess what? He can say what he want to say. That's his opinion. That's the way he looked at it. That's what he said. Who fucking cares? But because he has the freedom of speech. And anybody who don't like what he says, you don't have to listen to his podcast. You see how that goes? You know, he's still going to have millions of people still listening to him. You know, regardless of you shines or you fake white liberals or you walking around here acting like you're offended by what he said. But he issued an apology anyway. Well, since an apology worked for Whoopi Goldberg, I guess it should work for this bagel too.
Hello, friends. I'm making this video to talk about the most regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks fucking horrible.
Is he all head and shoulders?
Even to me. Now, I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, when I would bring that word up, like if it would come up in conversation, instead of saying the N-word, I would just say the word. I thought as long as it was in context, people would understand what I was doing. Like that context was part of the clip we were talking about Red Fox, how Red Fox said that word on television in the 1970s and how times have changed so much since then. Or about how Richard Pryor used it as one of the titles of one of his albums. Or I was quoting a Lenny Bruce bit, or I was quoting a Paul Mooney bit, or I was talking about how Quentin Tarantino used it repeatedly in Pulp Fiction. Or I was talking about how a Netflix executive, ironically, used it because he was trying to compare it to another offensive word, and he said it out loud, and they fired him. Not calling anybody a word, just saying the word out loud. I was also talking about how there's not another word like it in the entire English language, because it's a word where only one group of people is allowed to use it, and they can use it in so many different ways. Like if a white person...
You see, this is where, like I said, when you have these shills, these establishment shills, and that's what he is. Now he's doing his teachable moment. This is the only word in the English language that only one group of people can use. You know, here is the social engineering. This is the soft social engineering on speech. You know, and if you buy into this and say, okay, well, if as one of you saltines, if you're gonna say, well, I can't say it. No, yes, you can say it. You have the freedom of speech. You say what you want to say, and when you want to say it. You know, and in any context of way you want to say it, because everyone else uses their speech in any context that they want. It's called freedom. So you have this man right here, Joe Shill Rogan, because I'm going to call him a shill, establishment shill. Now he's doing is an attack on free speech. To even give this apology and say, oh, some people can say it, but white people should never, you can never say the word in any context. Really? Shill, go ahead.
Person says that word, it's racist and toxic, but a black person can use it, and it could be a punchline. It could be a term of endearment. It could be lyrics to a rap song. It could be a positive affirmation. It's a very unusual word, but it's not my word to use. I'm well aware of that now, but for years I used it in that manner. I never used it to be racist because I'm not racist, but whenever you're in a situation where you have to say, I'm not racist, you fucked up. And I clearly have fucked up.
Ooh, this apology is so just. I clearly have fucked up. So I want you to get it. I hope you saltines are getting this. This is the script. This is what you got to do. You fucked up when you have said this word, and you must apologize because clearly you cannot say it. See, he's making sure this is the teachable moment for everyone. You have to look at these psyops and how they do this stuff. This is all about This is a soft attack on free speech, because anyone that buys into this and say why white people can't say the word, yes, they can. They can say any word they want. I want to make sure everyone is clear about that. In the United States of America, they have the freedom of speech. Saying the word nigger is not a crime, okay? And it never will be.
And that's my intention to express myself in this video, to say there's nothing I can do to take that back. I wish I could. Obviously, that's not possible. I do hope that, if anything, that this can be a teachable moment. Because I never thought it would ever be taken out of context and put in a video like that. And now that it is, holy shit, it looks bad. And it's part of also me doing this podcast for thousands of hours, thousands of episodes, over 12 years. I said a lot of fucking stupid shit, which is fine when you're talking about most things, but not when you're talking about race. And there's another clip that I have to address. There's a clip from a...
So you can't say stupid things about race. You can't discuss, every time you discuss race, you have to be 100% serious. You can't say any jokes. You can't do anything. Yes, you can. You can do what the fuck you want. You know, you can make a joke about race. You can joke about the N-word. You can use the N-word. If it's part of what you're doing, your set, what you're saying in your space, your podcast, for your audience. If they don't like it, they will let you know, and then you can make adjustments. But here we have this teachable moment, and it's all behind the bagels are doing this. They're controlling this. This is all an attack on you crackers. Just a more control mechanism for y'all. Y'all should never, ever use the N-word, ever say it. You know, you do not have the freedom of speech with that word. You're the white group. And so black people look at this and say, oh, that's a win for us because we can control them with that word. The little wins the shines need.
11 years ago, I was telling a story on the podcast about how me and my friend Tommy and his girlfriend, we got really high. We were in Philadelphia, and we went to go see Planet of the Apes. And we didn't know where we were going. We just got dropped off by a cab, and we got dropped off in this all-black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining, and I said, we got out, and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes.
There's no way you can clean that up other than you're saying black people look like apes. Their neighborhoods look like the Planet of the Apes. That's what he said. But he was being comical, so he says. But that's what he said on his show. Who cares? Why is it coming up now? Because it's a teachable moment for letting you know what you can. You can't even joke about race, black people, white folks. You can't even say anything.
I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that. And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. Planet of the Apes wasn't even in Africa. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there. But then I went on to talk about what...
But now he's saying something about it now. He said it was a racist statement. Did he ever come out and say anything about it then? Now, you see, this is so choreographed. This is so choreographed to me. You telling me they did not know that he said this and they didn't have this waiting on the back burner after they tried all the other avenues. How? Now let's use wokeness. Let's go woke.
A positive experience it was and how much fun it was to go to see this movie in a black neighborhood. It wasn't a racist story, but it sounded terrible. And like I said, you can have clunky stories about anything, but not about race. And so I deleted that whole podcast, but obviously somebody made a clip out of it and taken out of context. It looks terrible, but it looks terrible even in context. It's a fucking idiotic thing to say. And I was just trying to be entertaining. I certainly wasn't trying to be racist. And I certainly would never want to offend someone for entertainment with something as stupid as racism. My hope is that, look, I can't go back in time and change what I've said. I wish I could. Obviously, that's not possible. But I do hope that this can be a teachable moment for anybody that doesn't realize how offensive that word can be coming out of a white person's mouth, in context or out of context. My sincere and humble apologies. I wish there was more that I could say, but all of this is just me talking from the bottom of my heart. It makes me sick watching that video, but hopefully at least some of you will accept this and understand where I'm coming from. My apologies and much love. My sincere, deepest apologies and much love.
It makes me sick just to watch it. Okay, white people, you can't even joke about race in no context. This is a teachable moment. It made me sad. I did not mean to call black people apes when I said we walked into a neighborhood. It was nothing but blacks, and it looks like we were walking into the Planet of the Apes. Oh, wow, here we go. It's a teachable moment, and this is all about basically the engineering of speech. Restrictive speech about what you can say, what you can't say, and then there are going to be repercussions in what you being canceled or cooked off your platform, or they're going to go after your finances or something like that. And I just feel like this is where we go, where we jump the shark with stuff like this. They said Spotify has removed a lot of the episodes, I guess, where he said the N-word in it. I guess, I don't know. Don't really care. I don't watch Joe Rogan. I don't listen to him or anything like that. Wouldn't care if he said the N-word every day. That has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with what I'm going to do and how I'm going to carry on my day. We have given this cancel culture, this apology, what you said here and what you said there, we give it too much weight, but they want to because they want to attack our Constitution. They want to attack our freedom of speech. They really want to attack that. They want to change that. They want to put rules on speech. Either we have the freedom of speech or we don't. And the freedom of speech goes like this. You have the right to say what you want to say when you want to say it. And it doesn't matter who you offend. You can say it. Now there may be consequences for what you said depending on what you said and where you say it, there'll be consequences for that. But you have the freedom to say what you want and feel the way you want about anything. But we have taken it so far to where now it's all about he gave an apology for it. So if Whoopi can give an apology for it and everyone takes it and move on, he should be giving an apology and move on with it too. But right here it says, I'm so used to seeing these people who lie and misinform and spread conspiracy theories double down instead of apologizing. Anna Navarro from The View. I found it refreshing to hear the words, I'm sorry, come out of his mouth. Anna Navarro is right that in the video, Rogan doesn't double down on sanctity of free speech or the importance of dialogue. He asks for forgiveness. Are you getting it now, what I said about him being a shill? You see how Joe Rogan is supposed to be the arbiter of truth now. He's a truth teller and standing up for freedom. Well, you're not standing up for freedom if you're not standing up for free speech. All he had to say was, I apologize for if the use of that word, what I used, in the context that I used, if it offended you. But I did not say it in a derogatory term. I was using it as a point of reference, and when I was talking about past comedians and situations and where that word was brought up. That's what he should have said and left it at that. I don't take it back from what I said because I know what the intent was behind saying it. And I should be able to talk about that and use that word in the context of which I used it, because I was speaking about how times have changed and the use of the word. See, that's called being a man and standing on free speech. But Joe Rogan is a shill, and he is attacking free. So he's bowing down and saying, well, no, we don't have the sanctity of freedom of speech. See, you see how they use these shills? They put a little truth out here, but you come back and we're gonna do this and we're gonna formulate this because we want to attack. They want to attack our Constitution and attack our freedom of speech. Put your comments below and tell me what you think about this Joe Rogan apology. I think I was muted on one part of this, and I got the sun shining right in my face through this blind in this room. But anyway, tell me what you think about this Joe Rogan heartfelt apology. for using the N word. But and if you agree with what I said about you know, like I said, this is an attack on. I look at this. This is an attack on free speech and a teachable moment to tell people how free we don't have the freedom of speech. You know, I don't think now if he was referring to his other comments, it'd be different. He was when he talked about the Planet of the Apes thing. Now I think that's probably the only thing he needed to apologize for. Probably well to explain. But he said he was being comical. I say a lot of things and being comical, and it may be offensive, but that's what comedy is. So, you know, and it can be offensive. If you don't like my way of comedy, you can click off my face and go to someone else. You know, it's just now this is getting ridiculous. But you see, they got the Shill out here to make sure he lead the pack, and The Rock to give in, you know, on Twitter. Yes, I see. It's a teachable moment. I've learned. I've been educated. The use of the N-word. White folks, you cannot say it. Black folks, you can. Anybody else, you can't say it. It's the only word in the English language like that. But it's only like that to those who subscribe to that. Because if you don't subscribe to it, you can say what the hell you want. Be the boss. Be the boss of you. And don't allow others to boss you. Put your comments below. Share the video. Subscribe to my channel. And I'll talk to you soon.
The one world government, you can't make war with that. Why? There's no government to go against it. It consumes the world, but not God's elect. This is where you've got to understand, and this is why you've got to have strong faith, is to know as long as God is with you, who can be against you? Nobody. As long as you are armed with the sword of the Lord, the truth, and you understand what's happening in the world, God protects you. You and He make a majority, and you can count on that. You can believe it.